Get your tinfoil koofies on, people. It's about to get real. Like, I don't know what we're going to do, but like the alien invasion is upon us. Marcus, Nicco, I don't even know if I'm talking to the real Marcus and Nicco right now, to be honest. Like, this could be alien abduction, Marcus and Nicco. Who knows? Are y'all ready? It's craziness going down right now. Aquarian Anarchy is back again. Let's get it. One of our favorite one of our favorite people.
Chad been hunting rabbits.
Well, that's white. One of our favorite people to quote is Voltaire, and this one is a perfect one for this episode. Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. And I think that's a perfect setup, Marcus, for where we're going right now, where the world is headed, because I think what people think they are seeing is aliens from another planet or something like that. And what they're seeing instead is just some stuff that tries to manipulate human consciousness into doing dumb shit to each other.
All the time.
So let's get into it. Have you ever been to Bayside in Miami? I've been several times, and I have never seen that many cop cars in my entire life.
Right.
I think I was telling somebody the other day, like, that's quite the cover story if you want to rob like 5 banks in Miami. Every cop in Miami-Dade County and 4 counties in the surrounding area was at Bayside at the same time. Like, you could have done whatever you want, and like San Francisco Walgreens ain't got shit on what you could have done in that little 3-hour stretch where they were all locked up over there. What did y'all see? What do y'all think?
I only saw that there was I saw a few posts showing all the police cars and the quote unquote footage that was released from inside. And then I heard the story about how there was was kids fighting. You bring that many police cars for kids fighting?
4 kids with sticks.
They were
4 kids with
fireworks.
sticks.
Supposedly, somebody said that they thought it was a mass, whatever, a shooter, an active shooter situation. Yeah,
and so like all that misinformation being thrown around, something being told left, and then you getting it right, and it's like, okay, you guys didn't get your story straight this time, did you?
No.
That's what it sounded coordinated. So, and then they said it was how tall were they? Like 10?
7 to 10.
7 to 10 feet tall.
I got pictures here in a minute. We got video of them.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Just a recap of all that I know of. Nothing. I mean, it's expected. They're probably doing something astronomically crazy underneath us right now. This is the pump fake. Oh no, isn't this like the pump fake because the CBDC is coming in real soon?
Well, you got. I mean, where do you want to start? Like there's that, the CBDC, the stuff with whatchamacallit, the Epstein, lift and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what I tried to remind everybody is like the day this all went down, it's the day of and January 6th, like all the like Janteeth and all that. Like, I get it. It's funny. Like, don't get me wrong. Shout out to Hotep Nation and to Uncle Hotep for coming up with the beautiful and Hotep Jesus too for coming up with Janteeth. I don't actually remember who the originator of that was, but that was pretty funny to call it Janteeth. But all the jokes aside, it's not lost on me that the day that we commemorate, at least the Christians among us, that we commemorate the finding of Jesus in Bethlehem by the 3 wise men on January 6th on the Theophany or Epiphany, as depending on who you're talking to and what they call it, that's what kind of replaced that. So now forever, at least in America, January 6th will not be known for that. It will be known for the insurrection.
Yeah, the erection. It's going to be known for the erection because that's what it was. A bunch of fucking statists getting an erection.
So yeah, that was the thing. I was like, no, this is distracting you as always. It's always distracting you more from the stuff that you're supposed to be doing. It's not like, no, this is distracting you from some other thing that these other people are doing that doesn't have anything to do with you. Like, or maybe it tangentially relates to you. Like even the stuff with the CBDC, like if we all just like dealt with each other face to face and like in person and got to know each other, like I'm telling y'all, like there would be no rulers who could possibly rule over us.
Yeah.
We give away these rights all the time, and we give them rights over us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way that always happens with anytime you're dealing with anything demonic, you have to invite it in and give it permission to have dominion over you. And this is the same thing. It's like people want to be obsessed with aliens. And so it's really easy for some people to go, look, aliens. They're like, like they were showing some stuff. There's this place in Vegas that does a thing where they have like a floating stage where they had this big thing and they make a big deal about it. And everybody thinks it's alien. It's a spaceship hanging out above this big thing. And it's like, no, it's all a put on.
Yeah.
It basically just made you advertise for them by making this shit go viral.
Right.
I'm surprised Bayside didn't have some big thing.
They may have.
They may have. I'm just not aware of it. But
it may be next week.
The people in Miami know.
When it's funny, when I first heard about this, I went into work and I have a guy that I work with. He's a good dude. His name's Josh. And he knows I get into conspiracies a little bit. And he was like, "Do you see what was going on in Miami?" I was like, "No, dude, I'd been kind of under the weather." And I was like, "No, dude, I haven't really been paying attention to that shit. I've been kind of under the weather." And he was like, "Oh yeah, supposedly there's some aliens that are attacking and all this." And I'm like, "What?" So I went So I went and looked it up and I was like, "What is this nonsense?" And because I saw the pictures like you guys did, there's 10,000 cops there. And I'm like, and he goes, "Oh, they're saying it's aliens." And I said, "It's certainly not aliens then, because anything they tell you is not going to be what it is."
It was aliens. I want all the body cam footage right now. Sure. Like what? Like you got all them cops, ain't no body cam footage.
And matter of fact, if it was aliens, wouldn't have people gotten it all over social media instead of it being very skewed around?
I gotta go. I'm gonna go. Y'all keep going. I'm gonna go find. There's a great Mitch Hedberg bit about this, and I'm gonna pull it up. So y'all keep going.
Okay, but you do that, Chad, I'm gonna show the clip I've got.
Yes, absolutely.
That shows the aliens. Okay, so this is the aliens. All right, so you're gonna have to look right here. If you can see right where the triangle is, this is the aliens. All right, so I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna turn that on. Hey, see it? That's the alien.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, right. There you go. So aliens apparently have not increased their and here, let me, I'm going to back up too. I'm going to show people, just to give them context, all the aliens were called in for this, or all the cops were called in.
We don't want to disguise no more.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
They said, you said they don't want to be disguised no more. They said, fuck it, we're coming out the
yeah, the aliens are like, here we are. No, the aliens didn't increase their. Look at all those cops. This is for 4 kids and some sticks.
Yeah.
Right there. So anyhow, basically,
somebody messed around and like messed up the story, like the okey doke.
Yeah, for sure.
They had a nice little okey doke story going on, and then they were just like, no, we were supposed to say. Anyway,
yeah. So, the first of all, these aliens, like I said, they don't have any new technology. They look like they're like the aliens from when the day stood still, or the day the Earth stood still. From the old movie.
That old George Lucas animation going from the first Star Wars, where it's all rubber masks and shit.
Right, 100%.
Like
And they're see-through. Aliens are see-through. Because
they might be transparent, you know. You never know. Yeah.
You are correct. There is a possibility.
I mean, demons are formless, so it's it could be if they were really that, that's
right.
I can see that.
You got to play the devil's advocate so we can.
All right, so
sides of the.
If I may, I will pull up because I got this one. This one's great. Share audio. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. All right, here we go. Hopefully y'all can hear this.
I think Bigfoot is blurry. That's the problem. Not the photographer's fault. Bigfoot is blurry.
Facts.
That's extra scary to me because there's a large out-of-focus monster. Side. Run, he's fuzzy.
There, that's it. What if Bigfoot is just blurry? And that's the problem. It's not that people just suck at taking pictures of him or that he doesn't exist. It's that he's just blurry. And how terrifying is that? No, it's just
That's
I thought that shit was hilarious.
and
R.I.P. Mitch
it's shot
Hedberg.
in 4K now. So for those camera shots to be
I
tracked,
know, right? To be so bad.
for it to be that bad right now, it's kind of making me skeptical.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know, that brought me when I saw that picture, it reminded me, and the link is down below. There is I really enjoy a YouTube channel called the Y Files. And the reason I like him is because he tears down, or he'll give you all of the information and doesn't like shoot it down while he's giving you the information. And he gets through all of the information that you're supposed to believe. And then he goes through and tears apart the parts of it that don't make sense, that you know, and sometimes he tears it all apart. Sometimes he says, I can't disprove that makes sense or whatever. Anyway, he did that with Project Bluebeam, which is the CIA project that they have that basically, for those that don't know, that they had a plan to, and we'll get into Bill Cooper in a second too, but in Project Bluebeam, they basically originally were going to like do projections into the sky of Jesus returning and Muhammad and all this stuff. And then they were going to unify those into a God form and then have you worship him. And it was a way to control people. Okay. Well, that's been morphed into aliens and them doing that with them. And when I first saw that picture of the aliens, that's exactly what I thought about, because it reminded me of Star Wars when, they got the terrible, video of Princess Leia, putting the shit into R2-D2. Yeah. And because, we have so much better technology right now that they're really not trying. So where I was at with it is I don't think that it's aliens, but I also don't think it's 4 kids with sticks.
Yeah. Facts.
No, it's, yeah. I mean, well, there may have been 4 kids with sticks there.
Right.
Like it's just whatever the cover story needs to be. But the reality of the matter is, and so if I may, if I can get into this now, because there's a couple of things here that I think are appropriate for the moment. Right. So first, in the foreword to this lovely work of art by the late Mr. Cooper, they finally got to him. But anyway, he's talking about how when he was on a naval ship, he and his some of his mates saw like some weird stuff that like came out from underneath the boat, came out of the ocean, and like they're on a submarine. I think they're on a submarine. And anyway, this stuff comes up out of the ocean. They see it's flying around or whatever. They see all this stuff, and they're all crapping themselves and going crazy about it. And when it comes time to like report it, they get pulled into this office. And so he says, when I entered the stateroom, the commander was holding my service record in his hands. He wanted to know why I had gone from the Air Force to the Navy. I told him the whole story, and he laughed when I said that after putting off the Navy for fear of chronic seasickness, I hadn't been seasick yet. And he said, suddenly a mask dropped over his face, and looking me directly in the eyes, he asked, "What did you see out there?" And Bill Cooper says, "I believe it was a flying saucer, sir." And he says, he began to visibly shake, and he screamed obscenities at me. He threatened to put me in the brig for the rest of my life. I thought he wasn't going to stop yelling, but as suddenly as he began, he stopped. I was confused. I answered his question truthfully. Yet I was threatened with prison. I was not afraid, but I was not very confident either. I figured I'd better take another hack. 18 years with my father and 4 years in the Air Force had taught me something. Number one was that officers just do not lose control like that ever. Number two was that if my answer had elicited that explosion, then the next thing out of my mouth had better be something entirely different. Number three was that his response had been an act of kindness to get me to arrive at exactly that conclusion. He said, let's start all over again. What'd you see out there? Nothing, sir. I didn't see a damn thing, and I'd like to get out of here just as soon as possible. A smile spread over his face, and the captain looked relieved. Are you sure, Cooper? He said. Yes, sir, I replied. I'm sure. You're a good sailor, Cooper. The Navy needs men like you. You'll go far with the Navy. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Right there is that whatever's going on, you're not supposed to talk about it. It's Fight Club.
Yeah.
You don't talk about Fight Club. And they got this stuff going on. And then if you go further in the book, there's some stuff that he found, this one particular document called Secret Weapons for Quiet Wars. And they talk about, I've talked about this a number of times before on this show, that this idea of stress testing and like the powers that be pushing certain buttons and seeing what the response is. And then taking those responses and saying, okay, we got this response when we did this. We got this. What if we do all these things combined? That sort of thing, right? Shout out to Hotep Goldstein. He knows where we're at with this. He is one of these aliens. He's like 6 million. And, but anyway, no, like, so a lot of this stuff is just used to, on the one hand, they'll do things to test to see what our responses are going to be. And then the next thing that they'll do, like we saw with what happened 4 years ago, is they will take all of that information and then they will launch whatever campaign it is that they have for a power grab. And they knew exactly, if we say this, they're going to go, all the toilet paper is going to fly off the shelves. If we do this, all this is going to happen. We do this, this is going to happen. I bet you we can get people to hate each other because they won't wear a mask. I bet you we can get people to hate each other because they won't get some experimental shit injected into their veins. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is so now get ready, because as this continues to build, like these little things are just going to continue to have you looking over your shoulder. And it's all, yeah, we can talk about what big media story or whatever they're trying to distract us from. The reality of the matter is, what they're typically trying to do is to get you off of your square of doing what you're supposed to be doing with your family, with your local community, and being the type of person that you're supposed to be. And instead, you're busy arguing with people online about this bullshit.
Amen. One of the things I said it goes along with that I said in the description of this is, much like, the 9 followed by 2 1s, just like that, I don't really know what happened that day. I have no idea. Not really. I have ideas and I have some hints, but I don't really know. But what I do know is it isn't what they fucking told us. And that's what's going on with this story. And I think, Chad, you're absolutely right. I think they're covering something up. And they also, in that Bill Cooper example you gave, there's another lesson to be learned there too. And that is, let's train everybody that you're batshit crazy if you're an alien. If you start saying aliens to everything, you're going to be assumed batshit crazy. And I'm not saying that there are aliens. I don't know. I've never met one. But I do know that when you start questioning things, they will now say, oh, you probably thought there were aliens in Miami, didn't you?
Yeah.
And completely and totally go past anything that you might think that it was. Let's say somebody finds out that maybe, I don't know, somebody with a Russian passport was caught in the wrong place or something. Maybe they caught a spy. I don't know. Something. Right. I'm just making shit up, just to be clear. That is not what I think happened. I don't know what happened. But what I'm saying is, if you had seen this Russian or whatever, and you said that, people would immediately go, oh, you probably also thought there were aliens, or you thought that this was going on.
Do you remember? You remember? Nicco can't remember this because he grew up with the internet existing and like DVRs and all that kind of shit. Hey, look, hey, it is what it is, bro. Look, you half our age, man.
You have to elaborate. You could have just said Nico's too young.
All right, fine. I apologize. No, but so listen to me. Goldstein can remember this. Remember when you would when like whatever it was, like when the V series was out or any TV series that was going on, and like everybody be talking about it at school the next day, and somebody didn't watch it, they missed it. You couldn't record it on your VCR. VCRs didn't exist yet. Couldn't DVR it. That shit definitely didn't exist yet. If you missed the episode, you missed the episode. Period. Point blank. End of story. Right. So it was a great opportunity to get clowned at school if you missed it because like you were out of the loop and you had to wait and like find out from somebody else, and there wasn't no internet community you could go on a forum and like learn what the hell happened or anything like that. You couldn't Google it. You just had to be like out in the
library.
And so but it was like you were an eyewitness to something if you did see it, right? So you remember there was always that kid who lied and said he saw it. And then you'd make up something that wasn't in the show and be like, "Oh yeah, that was hilarious." And everybody'd be like, you fell for it."
Right.
We know you didn't see this shit now because we just made that shit up. You just lied. That's how this is. This is just like that. It's like they've got you so like hyped up about like seeing this stuff and what happens when it happens. I don't want to miss out. I'm kind of scared of it. And I'm kind of looking for it. I'm looking everywhere for it, right? And then when they fake you out and show you a, decoy drapery,
right?
You know what I'm saying? A suspicious skycloth, whatever you want to call it, that FF thing, right? They show you one of these things. Well, now all they have to do is make it so that they'll make it look really believable so that you can't not believe it. And then they'll wait and then they'll pull it from you. Just like, I remember Uncle Hotep was talking about this last year when the whole Damar Hamlin thing happened. That was about a week ago, a year ago, give it a week, right? Like, I think it was January 2nd or 3rd last year.
So about the same time.
So roughly the same time. Yeah. So that's true. I didn't even think about that. Around the same time as this thing happened. Wow, that's crazy. But that whole thing, it was like, oh, he died. Oh, it was this, it was the thing. It was that thing. And it's like, no, it was commotio cordis or whatever they call it. The getting hit fast with something in the chest that makes you die, apparently, which I never heard of until except for like, apparently like my guy, Tyler, he was talking about like he plays lacrosse and it's happened to a lot of lacrosse players and some baseball players too.
Somebody plays lacrosse?
They catch, I know, right? But they catch a ground ball or a really, it's a hard projectile and it's a fast impact in a very specific spot. This seemed weird for that, right? Huh?
Don't you have to get hit like really hard, like right in like the chest?
In a very, it's got to be like pinpoint. Yes,
all that shit. Yeah,
right. Like the PSI that it has to hit is probably crazy, and it's like very direct in a.
But it has to be like
in rhythm. Like you have to be in between heartbeats or something rhythm, like that. Like right.
And like very, very precisely, like on the point.
So precise that in the history of football, no one has ever heard of this happening before in a game.
Ever.
Right.
Until then, right? But what happens? Like we all get okey-doked into like, oh, he's dead. He really died. He's never going to show up. They put him, he's all like incognito, covered up and everything. They won't show his face and all this stuff. It's all a ruse. And it's like, and they're getting to the point now where like people are so sophisticated in how they understand this stuff that the ruse has to be more sophisticated. Think about like when you watch a movie from like 70 years ago, how basic it was.
Yeah.
And how much more complex a movie has to be now.
Yeah.
The stuff that used to surprise people 40 years ago is just like, really? Like y'all didn't see that coming? Like I remember watching The Sixth Sense with my son. He was like 7. And I'm not joking. Like we're sitting there, we're watching this, and we're like, yo, we got to watch this movie. And they're finally like old enough to where it's like, all right, we can watch this with the two oldest ones. We're watching the movie they're in the hospital room where he like breathes the cold air or whatever. And he's like, I see dead people. Jonathan just like, he goes like this. He just turns around. He goes, he's dead.
Right.
It's like 30 minutes into the movie. And he's like, he's dead.
Right.
We're like, oh yeah. Well, this got everybody else in the world, like
Well,
except for the handful of people who lied and said that it didn't get them. Right.
Yeah, but I
So
do have
it's
to
like that where like you have to have like 15 different twists in the last 5 minutes of a movie to the point that it's like infuriating and it's stupid because now the thing that they finally end up on, like Knives Out is a great example. That movie has like so many twists that like at the end of it you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, whatever. I guess that's what it is now.
Cool.
It's still a really good movie, but still, all right, Marcus, you were going to say something.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say
filibuster.
that I have to say though, we were talking about at work like a couple weeks ago, a bunch of people, and one of them has done stand-up comedy, had never seen Animal House. And I was like, you haven't seen Animal House? I was like, oh my God, you have got to see Animal House.
It's hilarious. You can watch it, like, funny.
Exactly. I go, it's hilarious. And my boss, who was in the room, also said, yeah, but the problem is those bits have been done 1,000 times now. So when you watched it originally, they had never been done before. So you got them. And now people are like, okay, I've heard this before because they've copied those on Simpsons and on Family Guy and on all of these different, so all of the bits are used. And I think it's a very similar situation. To where
it's a desensitization thing. Like, you know, like once somebody pushes the edge, pushes the envelope, well, now the envelope's bigger.
Yep.
You know,
one of the things,
the slippers have been stretched out, so to speak, if you know what I mean, you know,
for
like
sure. One of the things
same.
that I think is telling about this too, to go back to Mitch Hedberg and the fuzzy, the blurry Bigfoot, is that actually is one of the things that I actually thought of when watching the footage of this. There's 10,000 different, handheld versions of the cops. Right. Everybody saw the 10 billion cops because everybody's got a cell phone and got it out. But so they got 10,000 pictures of cops, but there's 10-foot fucking aliens walking around outside.
Ain't nobody got a picture.
Ain't nobody got a picture. Not a one. Shut up.
Facts.
I mean, that's every time I hear about something that happened and there's not video evidence of it, I'm like, nah, you're lying.
Right.
Because did you see that video? The people videoing at the Arc de Triomphe, they were videoing the countdown to New Year's. No. Everybody had their phone.
Oh yeah.
Nobody was actually like watching
like
or living, like kissing their person that they love or anything like that. They're all just holding their phones.
Magnetized to their phones.
Well, the thing is, no, it's not. Here's the thing. They're not magnetized to their phones. Here's the problem. They're trying to stream this shit to who?
Yeah.
Their mom, their dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so we're so much in the like, look, I did it, I videoed it, and I've been victim of this. I've done it.
Sure.
You know, I used to be like, I'm a videographer from a previous life, you know, like that was my job. And so like there's a certain element of me that's like, no, I gotta like I'm here to catch it. Nobody's gonna catch this the way I can, kind of thing. And I have to like fight that to not be so caught up in that part of it. But no, that like how the way that everybody acts every time something happens. The chair bender from Waffle House. No, that bitch they got like 6 different angles of that thing. And they were fighting with her while they were videoing.
Yeah.
Nobody took a picture of the aliens?
Right.
Not even from really far away.
Right. They're 10 foot tall.
Bayside is a crowded ass mall. Right. I'm telling you, like there's tons of people there.
Fuck the bullshit. You're telling me that the mall's cameras were like,
yes,
right. Where's
that's what Amber said.
Camera footage? Right. Oh man, I guarantee you,
no footage from a mall, right?
Right. Exactly. That's what Amber said too. But yeah, this is all fucking a distraction. Do I know what it is a distraction from? No, I don't. And I do think though, to come back to Project Bluebeam, I do think that it is seeding. It is seeding us with some expectations, because I do think they are eventually going to do some things with aliens. And this is one way to get that further into the consciousness of the public.
But I don't think the public like reacted the way that they wanted it to.
Because people know it's bullshit.
We're bogged down and we're like, because this would be much bigger if it was actual aliens. Right. This shit would be blown up everywhere, and we'd still be talking about it, even though we have short attention spans.
Yeah, but so it's funny that you say that, because I think that kind of goes back to, because I think we've been hearing probably for like over a year now about the next wave of lockdowns and everything, and I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, I know people who got the shots who are like, that shit ain't happening again. No way. I regret doing this. It was stupid. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I fell for it. Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, you really think they're going to remix that shit and they're going to get away with it? No, like the press that they're going to meet, the full court press they're going to meet when they try to start that shit is going to be so intense. They're like, nah, we got to. So they're going to mix it up and go somewhere else with it. It's going to be something else. But yes, to your point, Nicco, like, people are to the point that they're having to get extremely creative. And that's one of the reasons why I think that thing actually worked, is because it had been so long since they tried anything remotely like that. It was the swine flu thing back in the 70s. Yeah. You know, like the 9+2 1s, that hadn't happened. Well, now they tried it multiple times in the same place, but that hadn't happened on that level here. Like, that wasn't a thing. The 2008 financial crisis, you know, the housing bubble popping and all that, you know, there's those sorts of things. I could see it's probably been long enough now with 2008 deep in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, I think financial crisis is on the verge.
That you could see I could see a financial crisis instigating, like, CBDC is the only thing that can save you. And, you know, the other thing is, like, don't be surprised if we have some sort of massive cyber attack type situation where, like,
Obama's filmed the film for us.
Hey, look, man,
that shit is wild.
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, like, the fact that they're involved with that as a predictive programming implement is like, wow. Okay, so I guess that's where we're going.
They're bold with it now. They're just bold with it now.
And it wasn't even like a great movie. It was solid. It gave me Nope vibes. You know,
I haven't watched it.
Kind of sort of
a Jordan Peele setup. You know, like it kind of had that sort of feel to it.
It did have the like ambiance to the film, but like it was
there's some super sloppy stuff in it, though.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
how you go from, like, Julia Roberts is like, I don't trust these people. Who the hell are these people? We're just gonna let him in here. How can you let him in here? To she's about to fuck the dude, like, within like 12 hours.
Facts.
And then she's like, you have a wife, I have a husband. Like, no shit. Like, you didn't know that until just now. Like, what the hell's going on?
Come on, Jojo. You know where you're at.
But it was a plot device, and that's why it was like, it was weak, because it, like, you can't. The normal human brain recognizes that nobody makes that jump that fast, unless there's like some serious energy going on that, like, and nobody was picking up on that energy before that thing happened, and that's why it swung and missed.
It wasn't a traumatic. There wasn't too big of a traumatic moment, like in the moment, for it to be that quick of a switch. Like, it all happened at the end. It wasn't a buildup of incremental moments. So, but nonetheless, I think this was a big like pump fake, because of also the Epstein files. Weren't there a whole bunch of stuff missing and, you know, altered with the files as well? I mean,
yeah, but isn't the Epstein thing also a distraction in a way, right? I mean, we're coming up. What are we, about a month away from Super Bowl season? I hope we're gonna do our show again. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Remind me closer to time.
It's February. It's next month.
What setup are we gonna have in February about like what kind of shit they're gonna do to us this year? And I kind of want to I want to go back and watch that episode again to see what were they trying to tell us with those commercials that were coming out during last year's Super Bowl? Because we saw.
Oh, you know what? I think
2 years ago we saw the FTX thing coming and all the other stuff coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I really think we should do a recap of the commercials. You know, just get like a clip and just sit down and do a recap
before the Super Bowl.
And see if
before the Super
anything
Bowl. Yeah,
from the previous ones are in now's time.
Mm-hmm.
So we can dissect that. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah,
and take a little bit of time because both of those are about 4 hours apiece.
Oh no, we just do the
we just go through the commercials. I did that last year. Like I just got the list of the commercials so we could see, and I went through and I was like, oh, this one was telling us maybe about this. This one was telling us maybe about this, and that way we could kind of see like, oh crap, like this is what they told us was coming. Yeah, right.
Okay. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
we may do that. Just keep me in the loop because I don't watch football. I
know it's fine. I'll set it up to where we'll have it all in our Telegram where we'll have all the different episodes, kind of like what we did for the Christmas movies thing. And then what was the other thing that we did? There was something like that where we had a list of little videos and shit.
Yeah, we did it. We did the ranking of what was it? It was programming.
Oh, predictive programming. That's what it was. Yeah, when we did that one. So we'll do something similar where it'll be all again predictive programming, but this time with commercials for the Super Bowl.
So back to the predictive programming, though, I do think that this was probably because, as I've said before, government likes to do several things at once, and my guess is
good point
that there's some predictive programming in this, and I hesitate to like give them any kind of credit, but I think that that's probably what they were doing because they also were trying to like make it to where it's believable to some degree because when they first came out and were like, okay, well, there's these 4 kids with sticks. Everybody was like, you call 4 billion cops for 4 kids with sticks? And they're like, well, there were fireworks. There was 50 kids fighting. Okay.
Meanwhile, in Uvalde.
Right.
Yeah, the cops couldn't go in the school.
Right. I know. But,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I do.
Come on, people. We're not stupid. I mean, I guess we are because nobody put those two together. Like, I think I'm probably the first person I've heard say that. Like, like, hey, compare this police response to Uvalde.
Right.
A non-active shooter to an active shooter. Like
fireworks. Well, and people will argue that that's why there was the response that it was. Okay, but the first thing you said was 4 kids with sticks. Everybody knows that bullshitter that is not good at bullshitting, but
police couldn't handle that. 4 kids with sticks.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but were they black? Because then they do go a little harder.
That's proper response for black kids.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, they called out every cop in the county for 4 black kids with some sticks. Or
now,
I mean 50
like,
kids with
if it was 4 black kids with sticks, then it at least 1,000 cops have to show up. But if it was like somebody trying to break into a black person's house, well, I mean, we'll see. We might try to get out there next week.
Right. We'll get you up next week. Take a little report, ignore it thoroughly.
We got to go get the emissions test real quick. Right.
and you better not have even the hint of smell. I think I smell weed. Okay, just turn this place all over.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, everybody knows the liar that increases their lie every time they talk to you because you don't buy their bullshit. That's exactly what they've done with this. That it wasn't 4 kids. You're not going to believe 4 kids. Okay, 50 kids with guns. Oh, there were aliens out there. Shut up.
The big lie is more likely to be believed, though, right?
Yep.
Facts.
Hey, when you cry wolf so many times, you gotta do one real good, rug pull, and then, because if you can't, Because if you cried wolf so many times, like, you got to think about it. The government has been caught in their lies many of times, but somehow, some way, you still got people sucking on the tit of this, and they're doing really good at milking these, like, the individuals that are, like, caught on the mother's tit. That is very, very, codependent. Now, even though they're somewhat skeptical, there's a lot more people on this side that's saying, that's some bullshit. So they got to have one really good, fat, old, healthy rug pull that's underneath us for it to be a great okie doke for all of us.
That's a really good point. That's an important point to make, because yes, you can't get away with just continually bullshitting people unless you got a banger every now and then.
Yep. Well, they got it, and they better be pulling out soon.
Oh yeah, were they lying about this? You know, and it's like, okay, yeah, no, they weren't, but like you don't think maybe that's cover for, like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist, and here we go.
Yeah, 100%. But one of the problems too is that I don't blame, and this is probably not going to be a popular comment, just saying, but I don't blame the state for a lot of these problems. I blame us. And the reason I blame us is because Nicco's absolutely right. They lie all the time. They're caught all the time, and people still believe them. And you know why? Because we have not been effective at giving them another option. If we could present a believable and, not, oh, it's going to be rough when we first get anarchy. No, you will have what we have now, only without force. We have been terrible at packaging a better solution, and they have taken full advantage of that. And then don't get me wrong, I know that there are people out there purposefully having bad ideas, and I get that because they're purposely trying to do that. But I actually blame us, and I blame the freedom movement. I blame libertarians. I blame the anarchists. I blame us, because we have peace, love, and freedom as the basis of what we are. Those are things that should be popular with everybody, but instead we're too busy tearing each other down. We're too busy yelling at each other, trying to be right about everything.
The freedom thing takes a back seat when the peace and the love are just removed. Like, that's the problem, is that, like, we can't even be peaceful with each other, can't love each other. And so it naturally looks like we all are just a bunch of assholes, like, arguing about who's going to be the next king of some anarchistan that they think they're going to rule over. And it's just going to be chaotic, and people are going to get hurt and everything. And it's like, people are getting hurt now. But the thing is, like, we have institutionalized that pain and violence, and what we're trying to suggest is that, like, there are always going to be people who will, in their fallen nature, will tend towards violence and oppression and greed and all those things that lead people to do things. Because every one of us as a human is tempted in those ways, but where I think it gets difficult for people to grasp is, and it's because we fail often to, like, recognize our faults as, like, the first things that we need to be worried about and try to fix. We try to fix the faults in other people before we worry about ourselves. And so naturally people are going to think, well, if there was somebody who could keep you in check, everything would be okay. And as I've gone through my spiritual journey, I've begun more and more to realize just that, like, it'd be cool if, like, there was a libertarian president and they could, like, start some of this stuff in a free direction more than it has been. But the reality of the matter is, like, if we still all just suck, it's not really going to matter, because we've got to, until each one of us as an individual looks ourselves in the mirror and says, I'm really doing a bad job of being a good person on earth, and I need to do a better job. Then none of that other stuff even matters. Like, it really doesn't. Like, it doesn't matter if there's a tyrannical regime in place or if there's an anarchist regime in place.
Hey, wait,
if we suck, we suck, and that's it.
Speaking of I mean, coordination. I'm just now realizing it. You two are the tie-dye boys.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. So I gotta
Did I miss the memo?
I gotta pimp my ride
because
here.
I'm black. It's got to be because I'm black.
Hey, man.
Shout out to Marcus. This was my birthday present, or one of my birthday presents. This was the other one.
That's dope. That's dope.
So I also got this, and I apologize for my laggy video. I'm working on it, people. I promise. But he also got me this. It's the entire works of Thomas Paine. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can. Eventually, it'll be viewable on the screen. There it is.
I can see it.
Okay. Anyway, the complete works of Thomas Paine. Thank you very much, Marcus. This good stuff.
I mean,
it's not even my birthday yet, but you know he's that's just sitting out early. What's that?
It? Oh,
it looks tie-dye ish.
Oh, there you go. All right, that works.
Right on.
There you go.
Yeah, my wife got me my tie-dye again, and if anybody wants one, just let me know, and I can hit me in the DMs or whatever. But I can create these. But yeah, my wife got me this for Christmas, and I enjoy it. It's a good hoodie.
Excelente. I was trying to find.
And to be clear, Nicco got presents too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't want to. Yeah. So. That's right. It was like a Christmas and birthday or something.
I have this hair. Like they like me. They like me. We're pretty cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to, but if you don't mind, while we're on this topic, so there's a guy, his name is Saint Agathon, or yeah. Anyway, he's one of the saint. His day is commemorated today on January 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And so but this is the one point I wanted to hone in on. He carried a pebble around in his mouth to remind him that he should be silent. And I was thinking like, oh, I need to do this because I probably talk too much. I should probably hold my tongue more. But anyway, there were some people that were spreading rumor, or not spreading rumor, but they were accusing him. They're saying like, you're a gossip and you're all these things or whatever. And then, he was like, yes, that's correct. I am. And this is what I need to work on. And I need to pray to God for help with, strengthening me in that effort. And then someone called him a heretic, and he said, no, I'm not a heretic. And they said, well, wait, why did you give in to these others, but you defended yourself against this one? And he said, well, all those other things that people said about me, I believe about myself. And to hear them from other people actually helps me to do the work that I need to do as a person, to be a more faithful follower of Christ. But if you call me a heretic, that means that I am speaking in opposition to God, and I will never speak in opposition to God. And so it's like, I think about this, and it all comes back to like, a lot of times we get caught up in this rat race, and these distractions are effective because as human beings, we tend to think that there's something that's going to save us from having to do the work we need to do on ourselves.
Yep.
And it ain't there. It doesn't exist. I'm telling y'all, it doesn't exist. Like, we have to empty ourselves, and we have to take on the difficult things so that we can be converted into what our purpose in life is. And shout out to Victor. I see you there. I see you, man. Oh no, that's I'm sorry, that's Carlos. My bad. I got you, and my bad. It's been a minute, but yeah, that's Carlos. I'm sorry. Victor is Ya Tu Sabes, but anyway, I got my Spanish mixed up. I saw Reacciona, and I was thinking of Hotep Ya Tu Sabes, but anyway, shout out to the Spanish peeps out there. But yeah, shout out to everybody who came out here. DMW shots. I don't know who that is.
They've been in a couple of our
streams.
But
like the name, I'm just like, I'm trying to put like a face or a Twitter account or something to it. Like obviously I know Goldstein because he's the same on YouTube as he is on Twitter.
I'm pretty sure this is the person
Carlos.
that kind of found us by accident when we did
nice.
like a couple of shows ago. I think it was when we did our show on the Trinity. I think it was either that or the Hero's Journey. I can't remember. It was one of those.
I thought that was that Justine.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've seen him before in here.
Well, anyway, yeah. Shout out to everybody who came through and continues to come through. We appreciate y'all.
For sure.
The College Football National Championship starts in 7 minutes. So speaking of distractions, I'm going to take partake of a little bread and circuses myself. All healthy entertainment. It's all okay. You know, you can watch a movie, you can watch a TV series or something like that. You can watch a sporting event as long as you recognize that you have work to do within yourself, with your relationship to the creator, and that you have work to do with the people that the creator has put in your sphere of influence. Right? For sure.
That DMW Shots 247 is the mod for Canada. Gotcha.
Okay. All right, bet. But yeah, so as long as we take care of our business, I mean, we are permitted to take part in a little recreation.
I'm gonna take a part in a little recreation when I get done too.
Intensity all the time. Or well, it should be, but we're not all saints yet. We don't have necessarily the makeup for that. Otherwise, we'll burn out real fast. So.
I'm not aiming for saints. I'm trying to get in the door.
Hey, look, man.
Hey, I'll shoot for saint. I'll shoot for saint. I'm just trying to get in the door.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about. It's funny that you say that because so like at liturgy yesterday, Father Joshua was talking about how somebody asked somebody like, well, what if there was only one person? Would Christ still have like suffered all that just for one person, just to save one person? And it's like, absolutely. That person is you. Like, it's like, and like to like realize like, okay, wait, this is like an individual, like each one. These are things that we can't understand because it's hard for us to do this as human beings. But like the creator of the universe can love each one of us the way that we love the people we love the most, all at the same time.
Yeah.
In a way that we can't even and we get a taste of this, right, with our children. Marcus, you can, and Nicco, even like with your siblings, I'm sure you can feel this because I know I feel it with my siblings. I can't say like I have different relationships with each of my siblings, but I would never be like, oh yeah, I love this one the most, and I love this one the second most, and this one the third most. Mm-hmm. Like no, like I have different relationships with them, but I love them all the same, like equally.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't mean that everything that we do has to be.
There may be one that like you communicate more with, or like you guys have certain kind of like
a different connection. Yeah.
It's
similar tastes or
It's so it's different kind of like passions behind each relationship, yet it's still the same amount of love that goes around.
Yeah,
right.
100%. Well, guys, so we can get Chad to his entertainment, and we can get me to my bowl. Right, my entertainment. We appreciate you coming in here and paying attention to this. Were they aliens? I sincerely doubt it. Is it possible? Maybe, but I doubt it.
Hey, look, it's Miami. There were definitely aliens. Just did they come in on a raft or like what happened?
Right. You know what though? It makes sense that it's Miami because it's like it's Florida people. The Florida man,
right?
The Florida man. It makes all the sense.
Nicco, this was a very simple illegal immigration joke. You could have just like let it go, but you had to get all analytical on this shit. Like, come on now. I was thinking this is an illegal aliens joke, but anyway, my wife's Cuban, so I can say it, right? It's like
right.
It's like the C word or no, the I word. Which one is it?
I don't have any idea.
Speaking of which, did you see that kid that got recruited from West Virginia? Did I send you that? I gotta send it to you if I haven't already.
No, I didn't.
His name is Noah, and I'm not gonna say
Oh,
his
no,
last
you
name.
you did send it to me.
I'm not gonna say his last name.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got me the email, Chad. The email for an order.
All right, yeah. Wait, I gotta. What?
Because
Okay. Link you up. All right, yeah. All right.
I'll just call you in like 30 minutes.
All right, guys. So it's been great, and try to steer clear of some aliens and stay free.
Stay free.